Welcome back, you gorgeous weirdos. I'm so glad you're here. If you want to see how I created these absolutely beautiful and so much fun, jungly, tropical press-on nails, stick around. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm starting with these Una Gela. I think these are the short square. I had a lot of requests for some short press-on nail content, and I'm so excited because I just got these with a couple of other brands that I will be using going forward. I'm kind of loving these shorties though. They look so freaking cute and they do look a lot more natural. So if you're not into the longer nails, if you like to keep it short, keep it simple, this one's going to be for you. I'm going to just start super duper easy with a coat of the white gel polish. Again, you don't have to use gel. I understand gel allergies are a thing. If you don't want to use gel, you don't have to. You can use regular nail polish. You can use dip powder, builder gel, rubber-based gel, whatever it is that you want to use, you can go ahead and use, but it's going to be white. Does it have to be? I don't care. These are your nails. You can do whatever you want on your nails. I feel like for this specific, nail art, excuse me, I wanted a base of white. So I'm going to very simply do a coat of white. I'm going to cure for 30 seconds. I'm going to double up, do a second coat of the white, just to get it nice and opaque, because I tend to put gel polish on pretty thin. If you put gel polish on super duper thick, it can cure weird and not look right. So thin coats for gel. If you're using polish, do what you do. You could do one coat of its full coverage, two if you need a little bit more. But I'm going to cure for 30 seconds for each coat, and then we're going to get right into some stamping, and I am super excited for this one. So while I'm doing this, I was just sitting here thinking, as one does. And I'm like, I gotta share this with the weirdos because it is strange and unusual. And that's what we love, isn't it? That's why y'all are my weirdos. So I'm gonna tell you this story. It's a true story. So my mother still lives in New York. I'm from New York. I migrated down here like 8 years ago with my kids. So I'm in Florida, for those of you who may not know. So my mom's up in New York. And before I moved to Florida, my ex-husband, my kid's father, he passed away. I may have talked about this in a previous video. He passed away 8 years ago, and my mom lives super close to the cemetery where their dad is. So she goes there pretty often. They were pretty close. We were all pretty close. He was a good buddy of mine. Even after we were divorced, he was a good friend. So she goes and visits him at the cemetery frequently. And I was on the phone with her the other day, and she's like, yeah, I went by the cemetery. People are planting things and everything is starting to bloom and it looks so nice. And I'm like, that is nice. I love that. And she's like, so I went home and I have some plants that were not doing well in my garden. So I figured, let me take them to the cemetery and I'll plant them there. And I'm like, it's a great idea. What did you plant? And I was so not expecting the response that came out of her mouth. She planted eggplant. She planted eggplant at my children's father's gravesite. Pause for reaction. So, of course, being the human that I am, I had follow-up questions. And I think you know where I'm going with this. My first question was, did they grow? And she said, yes, they grew and they're big and they're beautiful. And now I have all these beautiful, big eggplants. And I had follow-up questions. So I asked her the question I really didn't want to know the answer to, but alas, I asked anyway. And I know you guys know where I'm going with this one too. What did you do with the eggplants? She took them home and she ate them. She fed them to her friends. And now I'm convinced that my mother and all of her friends are cannibals. And this has to be illegal in some part of the world. But, whatever makes your heart happy, go for it. So anyways, let's get into the stamping. I'm going to be using 2 different stamping plates, both from Maniology, for this design. The first thing I'm going to do is get started on the reverse stamping. This is super duper easy. I love reverse stamping so much. It's so relaxing. I'm going to take some black stamping polish on this beautiful little flower and pick up the outline, set it aside, and we can color it in later. If you need help with reverse stamping, I think I have a fairly detailed video I can leave up in the eye for you, but it's super duper easy. If you like coloring and coloring books, this is so going to be up your alley. I'm just going to clean off the excess image over here around the flower that I don't want on the nail with a little bit of Scotch tape. And that outline is ready to be colored in. I'm going to do this one more time because I'm going to do 2 little flower accents. Same deal as the first one. I'm going to go in with my black stamping polish, pick up the outline, and that'll be ready to be colored in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom y'all in for the extreme close-up while I color in this adorable little flower. I'm only going to use 2 colors, but if you want to go nuts, go nuts. Do as many colors as you want. You can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 12. I don't care. It's your flower on your nails. So I'm going to take 2 colors from Color Club. These are not stamping polishes. These are regular nail polishes. One's a beautiful pink color. I think this is called Peppermint Swirl. I'm going to use another color that's going to be a beautiful peachy orange. They're very tropical vibes. I'll leave everything linked down below per usual. The first thing I'm going to do is start coloring in the petals, and you don't have to do this in this order. You can do this in whatever order you want, but I'm going to start with the petals, and I'm just going to fill in that outline. One thing to mention when you're doing reverse stamping, you do not want to touch the brush to the stamper. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say because you're literally coloring in this outline on a stamper, but I feel like if you touch the brush to the stamper, there is a lot of potential to either smudge those lines on the outline or pick up the image because it wants to jump off the stamper. That's how it stamps on the nail, right? So instead of touching the brush, I'm touching the polish to the stamper and then kind of moving around the polish. I'm not like brushing the brush on the stamper itself, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I am a shaky hand bitch, okay? So if you're sitting there going, I can't do this, I'm too shaky, you know, my hands, this and that, I get it. But if I can do this, you can do this, because I typically film these things early in the morning, right after I had coffee, and I, as mentioned, shaky hand bitch. So if I can do this, y'all can do this too. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in all the lines. When I'm done with the petals, I'm going to switch over to the orange and do the inside of that outline. And then I'm going to let this sit and dry for at least 5 to 10 minutes. But I'm going to let you watch me do the other flower, and then I'll come back for the next step. So I have some weird issues with not wanting images just kind of floating on a naked nail. So I'm going to take this plate, a different plate from Maniology, and we're going to do a background of these very tropical like palm leaves as just a little backdrop to all the nails. I'm going to do this on all the nails, and then I'll put the flowers on 2 of the nails. So same way I did the flower, basically, I'm applying some green polish. This one's from Born Pretty, to the entire image. I find for myself, now there's no right or wrong way really to do stamping. It's whatever works for you. For me, if it's a larger image like this or fine detail lines, I apply polish to the entire image to make sure all the etching is covered with polish. And then I'll scrape and stamp and do all the things. I'm going to clean off my stamper. I'm going to clean off my stamping plate, and we're going to go again. Now, if you find that you can put a line of polish at the top, scrape it down, and everything's good and everyone's happy, do your thing. This is just the way I do it. And for those of you saying that it's a waste of polish, maybe. However, I find for me, I'd rather put down more polish than I think I need and have excess, as opposed to not putting enough and having to scrape and do it all over again, because I feel like you're using the same amount of polish anyway. Am I right? And it's just polish. Like, I'm not going to cry over 2 drops of nail polish. This is for first world problems here. Anyways, get it on the stamper, stamp it directly on the nail. Now, the nails that I have that I'm doing this over have the tacky layer from the gel polish, right? If you are uncertain, and I'm going to stamp the flower right over that because it's still tacky. That's what I'm getting at. If you need a tacky layer on your nails, if you're doing this with regular polish or dip powder or whatever, you're going to want to put down a sticky base coat if you're not doing this with gel. I like the one from Maniology, but whatever one floats your boat, put that down, let it dry for a minute, and then you can proceed with all of your stamping shenanigans. So as mentioned, I'm placing those flowers down in the middle of 2 nails. I think I did my ring nail and my thumbnail. How freaking cute is this? I love it. I love the brightness. Those flowers gives that little bit of greenery in the background. And now these are done. So here's what I'm going to do to finish these up. I'm going to throw a smudge-free top coat over all of the nails. I'm going to let that dry for 5 to 10 minutes. Then I'm going to go in with a matte gel top coat. You don't have to use gel. You can use polish top coat. You can even activate over your smudge-free top when it's dry, and then do your dip top coat if that's what you prefer. I just like the ease of gel polish, and I have found I'm testing some different gel polishes because sometimes gel and regular polish don't get along. Gel can separate over top, but I have found so far that the Model 1's gel polishes do not separate over top of the smudge-free top coat, which I love. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the Model 1's matte gel top, cure it for a full minute, and then you'll get to see the finished look. I'll throw them on, we'll take some pictures, and that'll be it. not me anxiously awaiting the LED light to go off. Okay, here's what they look like. Matte, I'm literally obsessed. These are so freaking cute. Matte is the way to go. I know that not everyone is a fan of matte top on nails, but with nail art, I know I sound like a broken record, but matte polish over nail art is just, I don't know, it does something to my soul. I'm gonna get these on the nails. Here's what they look like installed. I just used the BT Art Box adhesive tabs. I don't like to glue nails on because I pop them off in like a day. But this is what they look like. This length and shape, I think, is like my new thing. You guys will have to let me know what you think down below. Thank you for spending some of your day with me today. I love hanging out with you guys. I hope the rest of your day is as beautiful as you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.